What's going on, King of Kings family? It is day 29 of our Acts campaign, dwelling in the Gospel of John through the 40 days of Lent, and today's reading is John chapter 15, verses 18 through 27. And the part that I gravitated to is where Jesus says, "I have chosen you out of the world, and you don't belong to the world." There's a way in which we feel stuck and shaped by the world's priorities, by the world's perspectives. The world tells us to work as hard as we can, accumulate as much stuff as we can, fill our schedules with as many things as we possibly can, because that's where life is found. And yet Jesus offers an alternative to that, where Jesus says it's not about what you do, it's about who you are, that you are God's beloved child, that there's nothing you can do to add to your value in the world other than live according to how I've made you. That's what the perspective of Jesus, what the perspective Jesus offers us, and those are very different narratives. Those are very different ways of living. And it sounds like, it's almost like we're powerless to break free from this world's perspective of do more, work harder, get better, or else. And yet Jesus says that I've chosen you out of that, and you don't belong to that. You're not subject to the world's priorities. You're not subject to the world's perspectives. You are free in me to live according to the best version of you as I've created you. And so really, the most important thing for us as followers of Christ is to understand who we are in Christ, because when we know who we are, we'll know what to do. And then that knowledge, that clarity gives us the freedom to say no to the do more, work harder, get better, or else mentality, and trust that God will provide for us in that. And so that might mean we say no to a boss who demands more and more of our time for our job. That means we might say no to the ever growing list of activities that the schools or other organizations tell us we need to have our kids involved in order for them to have meaningful childhoods. That might mean we need to say no to the social pressures and the peer pressures that we face, because we know that runs, whatever that is, it runs in contrast to what God would call us to do. We don't belong to the world. In our baptism, we belong to Jesus, and so that's where we find our perspective. That's where our priorities get shaped. It's in the context of a relationship with Christ that gets shaped, and that's what sets us free from the priorities and perspectives and the demands that the world places on us. And so if you find yourself in a place of exhaustion, if you find yourself burned out, worn out, and stressed out, you don't have to live that way. And Jesus offers a way out from that. And he has chosen you out of that. And he will provide for you, even if the world hates you because of it. As he says, the world hated him first. He offered a narrative that was counter to the narrative that the world was offering, and people didn't like it. And people won't like it when we live according to a different narrative, but that's okay, because Jesus has called us by name and will be with us in it. So that's all for today. Have an awesome day, and God bless.